Welcome to the One More Rep podcast, where we take it beyond the barbell. I'm your host, Mo Dingo, and with me, with a shared bottle of Boulevard, what was it? The Calling IPA, double IPA, and it's shared because it's 8%, is my homie, Sweet Potato Pie.
It took me a second. Potato pie.
It's almost Thanksgiving, you know.
Dude, I can't. I would eat Thanksgiving right now twice.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Well, you guys have an in-house comp.
Yeah, we have an in-house next Saturday, and then I forget when we do a Christmas/Thanksgiving. It's in between Christmas and right after Thanksgiving party here.
Okay.
Do white elephant gift stuff like that. So, but yeah.
But the Boulevard, the Calling, it's a double IPA. It's delicious. It's 8%, so be careful. That's why I only have about 2 or 3 ounces in my cup. Brody's got the rest.
I have about 2 or 3 ounces in my cup.
But definitely good stuff. We did want to say thank you for all the comments that you guys had on episode 46, Getting Out of Your Own Way. I think of all the episodes so far, it seems like a lot of people really took that one to heart. Not that you guys haven't before, but we had even someone reach out to us, a military member, and said that really touched him because he's had some friends that have been affected by some of the stuff we talked about at the end of the show in the outtake when we were talking to Jenna about making choices to be present. Because I think in that particular day that we recorded, like, had you just stayed on the couch that day, you wouldn't have never met that one individual who just decided he wants to be fit. You know, and you had a nice conversation with him too, so that's pretty sweet.
That was good, man. Talking to several people, they've listened to it some 3 or 4 times. Because I think, I'll snitch on Jenna. Like, she had that, she made that nice little conversation at the end of that thing, and then like a day or 2 later, she's being a little bitch and not wanting to come in and work out. But she did. Yeah. And so I was like, well, didn't you just say, like, on this episode
that you made the choice?
And that's the thing. Like, I think, sort of like what was said from the person in the military is, you know, the PTSD can affect the people. You know, you can have like a couple really bad days, and you can have like 7 really good days, and then it's another bad day. It's like, I think it's the same with this is, even though you can tell yourself to get out of your own way, and then you finally do come in, well, next day you could have to do it all over again. It never goes away. And I think that's what people are finding out, why they're revisiting it. It's just kind of a slap in the ass to get going. And, you know.
And the one comment that Jenna brought up was that, you know, watching after your strong friends, because I talked about an incident that happened to me in my career. And I think that was what the individual that fired back at us, that's something that really sank with him because, you know, both of us being military members, we see things from a different perspective because, you know, and I gave my story about, like, you know, at a certain point in my career, it wasn't okay to show weakness, I guess, for lack of a better term. You know, everybody was supposed to be tough and hardcore, and luckily that's all changing around. And I think society in general, I think, is becoming more understanding of people that just have challenges.
Yeah. I don't like even talking about regular society sometimes because there's, honestly, you know what I mean? It's like there's so much stupid stuff. But inside the military, inside of like professional things where you see things or deal with things that regular society doesn't on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. Inside that structure, it's becoming more accepted to talk about what you see and what you go through with your peers, and they're not going to judge you. Whereas, like I made the comment, you know, back in World War II when they were coming back with shell shock, they had to kind of like eat that all up because society or their family would look at them as a weak individual, and they're not weak. They've seen some stuff, a lot of crazy stuff that you can't even express. You know what I mean? I see these old World War II vets, and they're sharing their stories that it's 50 years old, and they're still crying about it.
Yeah.
What's that tell you? 50 years, longer than
50 years to air quote get over it, and these people are still impacted on a daily basis.
and it's an instant. They start talking about it, and it takes them right back there. And I think that's where, sort of like Jenna, you know, she had said, that last part of the episode was really cool, but you got to fight that battle all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it never ends. But yeah.
And then, but one of the quotes that I think it was Jenna that posted this earlier in the week, which I really liked, that she put on her Instagram and Facebook, says, "You're not weak. You're making a decision." Oh, you said that in the show?
I guess.
So Jenna reposted a quote that Bro said in the show. It says, "You're not weak. You're making a decision," and that's true, because you could just sit there and, you know, eat the gallon of Haagen-Dazs and sit under your blankets all day, or you can get out and do something.
Yeah, it's sometimes she'll post those things, and I'm like, "That's pretty cool." And she's like, "Well, you said it." I'm like,
There's been several times I'm like, "Wow, that's a pretty cool quote. Where'd that come from?"
Yeah.
Like, you said it. I was like, "Really?"
it's weird.
You start blanking out.
Yeah, I don't even know where I'm at right now.
We are recording, and we're going to say thank you to our sponsor, 75 Clothing. And as always with Wally, hooking us up with free shipping if you use the one more rep. If you use the one more rep.
You're screwing up my video, bro.
If you use the promo code one more rep, you will get free shipping. And today, I just got a message on Instagram. Tono Delgado from El Paso got his shirt today.
Oh, nice.
So
What's
that's
up,
pretty
man?
sweet. So yeah. Our first identified organic listener.
And for all you people out there
that are about to start making fake Instagram profiles,
I'll catch you. I might not catch you. Jenna might. I don't know, but yeah, it's that was pretty sweet that he just kind of searched for CrossFit podcast
on Spotify,
and we even popped up. So I guess that means Mo's doing something right. We never know what he's doing, but
me either.
Yeah, he's Vision Quest, bro. It's a whole nother level.
So today's episode.
Screw that, man. We got new gear.
Oh, yeah, we do got new gear. Sorry. So
I told Mo to take me back to my gaming days and talking smack to kids. Last night.
So this guy that I DJ for on a regular basis, he gave me a raise recently. So I used some of those funds to purchase some of these headsets.
I ain't paid you yet. Mo, I'm going to talk to you about your raise.
About my raise. No, so I spent some of that cash that Bro has thrown my way and invested in some headsets. So now we can look a little bit more professional. We can use our hands.
I don't know.
And then we can go gaming later and own 14-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, I don't need no headset to do that. But I still don't. I feel like Ricky Bobby. Like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do?
Yes, we did get some headsets. So it makes my life easier when it comes to the editing process. For those of you that are audio heads out there, you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you. I'm still getting over the sickness, but Mo's got it.
Yeah, but now I got the brositis.
Bro,
yeah, I called it. We had a convo, Tuesday?
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Mo was on, he was questionable for today's episode.
On the injury report.
Yeah, on the injury report. Yeah, we send out injury report every Monday, and he was questionable, which means he had about a 50% chance of talking today.
Yeah, I went and saw the trainers. You know, they gave me some therapy. And
they gave him a shot in the ass. Who knows what that was? If he starts snatching 315 like we're talking about, we know what kind of shot that was.
That's because I'm wearing my One More Rep podcast shirt.
And you're eating chicken breasts.
And nothing but chicken breasts.
Yeah. And we maxed out our snatch today, and people clean up
Was anybody wearing their shirt?
Yep, absolutely. Got PRs out of it.
Nice.
I mean, it wasn't 30 pounds like I wanted, but you know what I mean.
Did anybody load up 315?
No.
Caleb?
Yeah, he might try that.
Yeah. All right, so this week's episode, it pretty much ties into almost every episode we've done so far, but I think the one that it agrees with the most is episode 26. It's all about you. And today's episode is Keys to Better Performance. One of the ones that Bro came up with on his 3 o'clock
Vision Quest
in the morning. So if you, a couple episodes ago, Bro talked about where he just woke up and in 15 minutes you shot out about...
I went to bed and then...
about 10 different topics, right? 10, 15 different topics.
Yeah, it might be 30. It's a lot. It is. It's ridiculous. I go to bed and I was like, I had one thing I wanted to get down. I was like, well, my dumb ass will forget it when I wake up and I'll be pissed.
Yeah.
So I pick up my phone and put it in the notes, and then I had vomit just spew out of my mouth like with all this other stuff. So I threw them out to Mo and Jenna and then all y'all, and I think this is one of them that maybe someone maybe not, maybe they don't. Maybe y'all want to hear about this.
But the interesting thing is when we talked about keys to better performance, we were looking at it from different perspectives. Me, I always kind of look at it from...
What? Right.
Imagine that. We have different perspectives. But when I outlined, what I thought the show was going to go in a direction about was more talking about...
I'm sorry. Because, it's always how it goes. Like, Mo always goes, well, I was outlining it in the direction I thought it was going. And then I talked to Bro, like...
And then it did a 180. No.
Yeah.
No, but I think if you reflect and you look back on all of our shows, we kind of get each other's backs whenever it comes to these topics, because one of us will have a very specific thought process where we want to stick with, and then alternatively, like, you'll pull up another side, just like this one specifically. Like me, I was talking more towards GPP, your average everyday CrossFitter, and Bro, obviously he kicked because the world you revolve around, that you've had heavy experiences in the competitive aspect of it, which I don't. So that's, I think the good part about our show is that we give you two different perspectives. I wouldn't say like absolutely contrasting, but we give you two very similar forward paths, but just from very different viewpoints.
Yeah, I think with, what Mo had written down on his show notes, all of it was good. And I just kind of extended onto it, where he was talking more about the GPP everyday athlete. And then, I just kind of added we have some competitors.
Yeah,
listen
we
to
have
this.
A couple.
Yeah. And so we can kind of talk about that as well.
So when we're just talking about just the show in general, like keys to better performance, what are we talking about here?
Well, I was telling Mo, a key to better performance, a key is something specific.
Yep.
It's not just random. It's finding something specific in order to enhance your ability, your skill level, strength, whatever it is. And you got to find that. And I think sometimes people, I always hear this, I want to go to regionals. No shit. Okay, cool. I want to go to CrossFit Games, Mo.
Yeah.
Like, people say it rolls right off their tongue, and they have no idea what they're talking about. Do you know what that takes? Like,
yeah.
And then even if you're to your higher end local athletes, they say that, I'm like, you're not even close.
Yeah.
And I'm not being rude. It's just the reality of it. But once you say this, like, okay, I want to get better. Well, okay, how are you going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I think it's important to find out what your key is or keys are, and then once you establish that, then you can start working to getting better.
So where do you start? And the first thing I had outlined is listen to this show.
Yeah, and that's
it. So
that's
that brings this week's episode to a close.
That's it, guys. If you just listen, that's it.
That's all you need.
Man, I can make these show notes. Key to performance. Listen to Mo and Bro. All right. Game over.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
But first, I put down, what is your current state of performance? Are you...
Don't undersell what you just said.
Listen to our show?
Okay, and I think that we were joking about it, but I think there's a lot of stuff in here from the mentality and the performance side and visualization and things that you can apply to GPP and
the competitive
side.
athlete.
Yeah. So what we put out there isn't stupid. I don't think. I guess it's not. You guys listen to it.
Yeah.
But we can't undersell the things that we do put out there, because I think if you revisit some of the things that we have talked about on that side of the performance of CrossFit, I think there's some good stuff in there. Stuff that I've used and I've seen work, and I continue to use and continue to see it work.
And I think for a lot of you out there that don't necessarily have the resources that we reference within our shows, could it be helpful to you? Well, especially if you don't have someone who's willing to talk to you about these things. And
that's what we're finding out too.
Yeah, and that was my next point, especially you guys on YouTube. Don't forget to click that bell. Is a lot of people will just message us and ask us random questions. And, go ahead and ask us, because it's not, I don't feel bothered by it. When you guys send us messages on Instagram, Facebook, emails even.
And I think what I was getting at is, what you just said is, some people don't have the resources to tap into. So what I've found and we've found is when people do reach out to us, they really don't have someone they can talk to that can teach them to do X or answer a question about this, or and that sucks. We have people that come in here and some of the things we do here, they don't do at their gym. They wish they did, but they don't do it at their gym because they don't have anybody that can do it, right? So if you don't have that to tap into, that sucks.
So going on to the next piece, what's your current state of performance? And this is, where my thought process was residing. Are you brand new? Are you someone who fell off the wagon? Are you going through some life changes like myself? I'm having issues right now getting, staying motivated, just like we talked about, getting out of your own way. And every day I wake up and I'm like, let's go. You got to do this. I can't, I would love to go back to bed, but what good is that going to do me besides get me another hour's sleep?
I mean, that's awesome sometimes. Another hour. Sometimes 8 minutes off the snooze, that's definitely
that's golden.
Right when you fall back asleep, it's going off, but then you just hit it again. And next thing, might as well just set it for another hour.
Yeah, but especially, and I was kind of trying to figure out, why was my head in this space? Why was it easier for me to just think about not going? Because before, in my previous, life, fitness was a part. It was a requisite.
Well, it's only been like 2 months.
Yeah, it has been 2 months.
I'm just saying. In my previous life,
I'm trying to distance myself, man.
2 months ago.
I'm trying to become a civilian.
What you're actually getting to is huge, though. I think you fell out of your routine, and
I wasn't waking up every morning at 5, putting on my uniform, tying up my boots,
shaving.
Shaving. Trying to work that 5 o'clock shadow a little bit for you guys on YouTube. But driving to the gate, parking in my parking spot, going to my office, rinse, repeat for, 26 years. And then now having to change from that, it's hard. It's mentally, it's a little bit challenging. Like I'm not sitting, sharpening my knife, telling war stories in the dark or anything like that.
The old leather strap.
But it is kind of, it still is very weird. It's only been 2 months, like you said, where for the first time in my life, even going back to being in high school, like where I had to be fit to play a sport. Like right now, I don't have to be fit for anybody but myself. And it's kind of weird. And it was really easy for a few days to just keep hitting snooze and not do anything or not even going in my garage and working out. But now I'm like, I can't do this to myself.
No, but what you're going through is, I think, a natural progression because I think when I first, this was my only thing that I did. It's weird, you don't you have nobody to report to. Like you wake up and like,
I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
I'm at work.
Okay, no one's here.
Fill out the chalk buckets.
Right. And so when you first hit the ground running, of getting your gym going, then there's like a lull of, it's a trap in my opinion where you can become lazy because it's like there's not a lot to do. And you don't have to do it.
You have your morning classes, then you have the big lull.
Right.
Then you have your evening classes.
So it's just kind of.
Is that when you go buy guns?
I usually go over there for some other reason, like to talk to them about something else and then I purchase something. But I think it's easy to get into the trap, kind of like you are, where it's. You don't have things to do, but you have things to do, but you don't have to do them.
Yeah, There's no intrinsic reason that I have to execute or perform a certain task anymore.
Yeah. So you can easily fall into that, and once you do that, then your productivity goes way down. And I think what helped me was initially I made a to-do list daily, so I had to answer to something, and that's what
to yourself.
Yeah. Whatever was on my list, like on the whiteboard or on the piece of paper, like I wrote that, and if I didn't complete what was on that, then I felt like a bitch. And so it helped me kind of stay focused until I got in a groove. And
then this is kind of like a key topic, whether you're GPP or you're that high level athlete, is what are your goals? Are you just I don't mean just a GPP person, but is that what your jam is? Is that why you're here? Just to look good naked? You're trying to lose 10 pounds. One of the things I know we talked about early on is when I was asking about like who comes in here as far as a CrossFit athlete. It's someone who's like a former high school or collegiate athlete and they want to get back in that shape, whatever that shape was. But then to answer the piece about the high level athletes, are they trying to do an online qualifier? Are they trying to go to the games or go to one of these 16 qualifying events? What is it you're trying to do?
They're going to move to Uruguay.
Or China.
China's a good one.
Just ask Bukowski. And so, I mean, what are your goals?
Yeah, goals are huge. I think that it's easy to write goals down, but it's harder to write down like proper goals. And what I mean by that is, don't just throw stuff on paper just to say, "Oh, I made a goal list." Like, this better be thought out. Like, there's times where I've had goal setting sessions, and they're like, "Well, let's just do it now," and I'm like, "No." Like, if you have your goals and you haven't thought about them, then I don't even want to speak to you. Like, you better put some thought into these. I don't want some random stuff that you just threw down. Like, or, hey, let's just set our goals. It must be a thought out process, because if you really have something you want to accomplish, you better have thought about like why you want to accomplish, and are you going to put in the work to accomplish those goals?
And a lot of times when it comes to projects or things like that and setting goals, I tend to work backwards. I find out, I establish what that ultimate goal is and then work backwards, like how to get to that point. And like you said, when you have these goal setting sessions, people, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. Okay, well, how is that going to help you, qualify for Granite Games?
Right.
If you're telling me, like, where we talked about running, you can't just go and run and expect to get better at CrossFit. Yeah. You're just going to get better at running.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's the next piece? You talked about mapping out a course, making sure those goals are appropriate. So are timelines important to those sorts of things?
Actually, yeah. Especially now, since the new games is coming around. Now you have set sanctioned events, right? So half of those are done in the United States. And so now you can actually have a different type of season where I think one of the hardest parts about regionals, the open regionals and games, is it was all consecutive. Okay, so
just back to back to back.
So basically, you could not get sick since February, into February,
until August.
Till August, you can't get sick. Like, you know what I mean? You can't. Yeah, and you see, I think one of the few things I thought was cool about the new sanctioned events was people who have invested so much time and they qualify for regionals, and then how many times you see a regional athlete post that they're sick? They get sick the week of regionals.
Because, well, I'm sure the volume of work they're doing,
your body's
the
just
stress they're putting their body through.
So they get sick.
Not just the physical stress, but the emotional stress. Yeah. And I think that's what leads itself to getting sick versus just,
they're healthy individuals.
Yeah, because right? they're healthy people.
Yeah. So, and then that ruins their regional. So they've basically trained a year, and then some microvirus you can't see takes them out for 3 days, and they can't even do well. So one of the biggest benefits is now you don't have to be healthy, like you don't
for 6 or 8 months straight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, think of it, if you tweak something or you get injured, or especially if you're trying to ramp up for regionals, that's when that will start open. You really shouldn't be injured unless something freak happens.
Should be tired.
Yeah. And then the regionals and then ramping the games, injuries can easily, and anybody going to games, like I said, they're not 100%. If they are, they didn't train near hard enough.
But I don't think you can not get there without training at least 95%, because everybody else is just as strong, if not stronger than you are.
Yeah. So, but that was a cool part about the sanctioned events. So yeah, mapping it out. So, what events are close to you? What events can you afford?
That's a big thing. I had a talk with a coach recently. He coaches like a lot of athletes, like all over the place, and he was talking about some of the decisions he made. Like some athletes are willing to travel outside the country, and some just can't afford to. Some can't even afford to leave their state.
No, I'm willing to travel outside the country. You gonna pay for it though?
Well, that's the thing. There's.
Hey, Jenny, you want to go outside the country?
Well, Iceland, right?
Yeah, right.
They got flights from Cincinnati for $700.
I'm just saying, no, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I didn't want to train outside or I want to go outside the country. Yeah. Well, who's paying for it?
Yeah, exactly. Some people have the ability to do that, but some people, like I was saying, can't even afford to drive maybe 2 or 3 states over.
Like I said, people are fundraising just to go to regionals.
Yeah.
These athletes, you know what I mean? Because you have to take time off.
Because most people have jobs.
Hotel, or it's going to be $300 at these places that they hold them. And so, yeah, you have to even do a fun, let alone go to freaking Dubai or it's
well, even Miami. Miami's not cheap.
no. But yeah, I think mapping it out. What can you afford? What ones do you want to do? And then you set up your programming to peak at that event, not back to back to back events like you do have. You know, you have the open, you have a small a few 2 months, and then you go into regionals. So it's pretty back to back where you get really no time. Here, I know my events because the dates are already set. I can kind of get I got to start here. I'm going to do a 12-week training cycle, and I'm going to peak at the 13th week.
You mentioned that. So you're saying that, with all the events are laid out. They're not going to change the dates. You know the times, you know the qualifiers. But how much strategy is going to be involved, in your opinion, in the future when you start looking at who's qualifying for what event? Or do you think people might start Frazier's going to this one, so I'm not going to that one. I'm not going to waste my time.
I don't think so. I think if that's your mentality, then you're not going to make it anyways. Because who doesn't want to beat Frazier? Who doesn't want to compete against him? I do. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a true competitor, you're not going to avoid the big
the challenge.
So that means if he goes to CrossFit Games, you're not going. You know what I mean? Oh wait, Frazier's going. I'm just not. Hey,
okay. So
hey, Mo, you want to go to my place because Frazier's there.
If you're not afraid to lose to him in the games, why would you be afraid to lose to him somewhere else?
And I think they might have a better chance of doing well against him, possibly because
different format.
Different format. You don't know if he's even trying to peak for this event. It could just be kind of ramping him up. I think what I mean. I think that he could have certain ones set in his eyes that I want to be ready for the Rogue Invitational.
Okay.
Like I want to be ready for that one because that's going to be legit. So
that's going to be like Gladiators, dude.
That's going to be sick, right?
Yeah.
You see the layout he released?
No, I haven't seen anything yet.
The building he released the actual that he built. He's building a venue just for
the Rogue people.
Yeah.
No shit.
Bill did. Yeah. He built a stadium.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have money problems like that.
It's literally,
it's like a coliseum.
It is. It's literally all focused on the WOD floor.
Nice.
And it's stadium stairs going up.
He's building it.
Yeah, right across the street from the Rogue building.
Wow.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, if you're thinking of that, then you're not going to do well anyways, and you might as well just go. I don't know, jump off a bridge. I don't know. Like I just hate that. Like if you're avoiding the best. So I could see Fikowski doing that. You know what I mean? Like that's just my head. That's my opinion. Like,
well, didn't he already announce he's going to compete in the one in China?
I have no idea. I really don't know. I haven't seen that.
I know he quit his job.
It's just the point. Like, don't avoid the best competition because, in all honesty, it could raise your level of how you compete, but also it's going to also kind of show you where you're at against those big dogs. Like.
Do you think the financial aspect might become more of a challenge than people ever expected? Because there's 4 events in the U.S.
Oh, I thought it was half. I could be wrong.
But there's a fixed number of events in the U.S. And like we were saying, driving to Tennessee or Columbus or Cincinnati when regionals were here, that's a lot less of an expense than me having to go to Miami. Was it New York? The East Coast one?
No, it's...
Well, East Coast, wherever.
It's at Carolinas, I think.
Okay, and then Minnesota.
What is it? The Midwest...
Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now, there's nothing on the West Coast.
I don't know.
So, like, if a kid from...
the Granite Games is the only one, it's going to be the last qualifier for the Open, or for the Games. So it's in June. So that's like Midwest-ish, East Coast.
But I'm saying West Coast, though. I mean,
yeah,
if
not
you're...
far. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, the thing is, people are saying that sponsorships are going to increase for these people, and I don't see it yet. So I don't know. That's on them. Figure out your cycle, what you want to train for, then get it done. Like it's that simple. You set those target dates of just like the Open. You want to be ready for the Open, so you train for the Open. So with these events, hey, I'm going to hit this event. I need to peak at this point, and you got to set that up with your coach.
So you mentioned about setting goals. I don't remember which episode it was, but we talked about using those SMARTS goals: specific, measurable, achievable, results focused, and time based. But something I think you would probably agree with is sharing those goals with someone to help you stay accountable. Like you said, you made that list.
Yeah.
To make yourself accountable to yourself, but it's a lot easier to try and achieve something when you share it with other people, and they're willing to poke at you when they see you.
It's usually an other person. It's not people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sharing your goals with every single person, then you probably don't have realistic, like really good goals. Because, from people I've talked to and have like done goal setting with, they protect those pretty close. It's like almost embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. They don't want anybody else to hear them, because I think if someone else hears them and then, not that they would judge, or this, she doesn't. Better back that up. She doesn't. I'm starting to talk about you, and it's not even about you. Redo that.
I feel like you're failing.
So if you have the goals and someone else knows them and they see you not doing well, then that they know your goals, and now you start thinking they look at you as a failure, and you're really not. You're just
even being embarrassed.
Embarrassed. Yeah, I think that's one. Is you're embarrassed. People are embarrassed to share their goals with other people because of the fear of being judged or laughed at. Like, well, you ain't gonna do that. Like, who are you? I mean, it shouldn't be like that. You know, if you do, you got to get some other friends because they're dicks. 'Cause I'm just saying, like, if they're gonna say, if you tell them your goals and they're something you thought about, and then someone judges you, they're jealous or they're dicks.
Yeah.
Like it's just
A or B or C, both A and B.
Yeah.
One thing I did,
I always circled C in school. It never worked, Mo.
I used the clock method wherever the second hand was. That's how I picked the ones I could figure out.
That's old. That was your circle C, wasn't it? Back in the day.
Not pertaining to fitness, but things that I've done in my life in terms of sharing goals is a lot of times I share it with my kids, because that's probably like the ultimate line of accountability.
Yeah.
If I tell my kids, hey, I'm taking this class, I'm going to school, I want to get this license, whatever, and I don't pull through, they're never going to forgive me.
Yeah.
So that's like the ultimate like cattle prod right there. Is four human beings asking you, hey, Dad,
I think when you're
taking that test,
it's important that you said that, because I think whoever you tell your goals to, that's what you need. You need someone that's going to hold you accountable to them properly, not to judge
ridicule you and judge you.
And be like, oh yeah, you suck. You're 50 pounds away. You can't have anybody that's going to judge you, because I'm telling you, people who are on that competitive side, they're the most insecure, unstable people I've ever met in my life. Like it's the most emotional, unstable, like, and if they're super duper cocky, it means they know they suck at something, and they're trying to make up for something that they don't have. So,
and being honest with your progress,
yeah, got to be honest with it.
Yeah, because your results are going to be based off the work you put in or don't put in.
You can't snatch grip deadlift 315 and say, I almost had it. Like, you know what I mean?
You're like, I pulled it.
Almost had it. Bro, you've been pulling 315 for 4 years. Like, it's still not above your belly button. You might want to rethink your goals.
So a lot of the things we just covered right there were, when I was looking at it from more of the GPP, everyday CrossFitter. But now Bro's going to dive into the part when we're talking about your advanced athletes that want to be competitive, get to that next level, which is one of the things we talked about in a different episode. So the first thing you brought up was identifying your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how can you
improve?
How can you improve if you don't know what to improve upon?
Yeah.
And not only identifying your weaknesses, but being real about what they are. Don't.
We joke about work at what you suck at, but people have blind spots.
Yeah, they do. And there's always something that someone neglects that is a higher end athlete. They neglect it, and they know they neglect it, but they can do it just well enough to kind of get through it. But then when it comes up and it's like forefront and like they have to perform well at it, then they're like, well, oh my God, like, well, I'm stupid, because you are dumb. because you knew what it was.
Or you see people muscle through things versus because they don't have the technique. Yeah, they can snatch that 315, but man, it was slow through the middle.
Or they're like super, super strong, but they can't do 50 pull-ups in under 90 seconds. Don't matter how strong you are then, because you're going to get beat. Yeah, see what your weaknesses are, and then typically you can kind of know what your weaknesses are, but that's when you want a third party is pretty good for that.
Yeah, and
because they can see a lot. Like you can think you're good at something. I'm like,
bro.
Are you, who are you basing that off of? Because you're not that good at it.
Yeah.
And you need someone who's going to be honest about it.
Yeah.
Honesty kills, but also honesty will motivate you to know and to get to that.
But I think also understanding what you're asking for when you find that person that is going to be honest with you. And when they're honest with you, you can't get pissed off at them because you asked for their help.
You know how many times I've used that? Honestly, you know how many times I've used those exact words?
You came to my office.
I did not come to you.
Yeah.
I didn't say, hey, can I coach you? You said, hey, bro, can you coach me?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Now, what comes along with that is I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
But you honestly can't. You can be honest, but don't give them. Don't tell them not how to fix it. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna say, hey, you suck at this, you better be prepared as a coach to
help them with it.
Hey, you suck at this, but this is why.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to benefit you, and then you will no longer suck at it. But right now, you suck. I'm just being honest. Yeah. You suck.
And
it's okay.
On the flip side of that, you also want to be able to identify your strengths. And I think also sometimes when we talk about these athletes, they don't.
That's a weakness.
Yeah, the weakness is they don't want to identify that they are strong at a thing.
So what are you good at?
Because some of that humility comes in,
Yeah, what are you good at?
Double unders.
I don't know. I guess I'm good at cycling a bar.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's cool. Like, it's going to win you fucking games. Like, oh, hey, we got the best bar cycler in the world here, but they cannot do handstand push-ups, right? So, notice what your strengths are and be honest. We talked about, I don't know what episode that was, where a lot of times I take people's weaknesses that they claim and I move it to the strength side.
Yeah, move to the strength side.
Because they're being too humble.
Or too hard on themselves, too.
Or too hard. Humble, as I'm saying, is they don't.
I'm not that good at that. Yeah, you are, dude.
Yeah, that's being very humble when they are good at it. So that's what that third party is good for.
In that third party, we're talking someone like a coach, a mentor, someone you trust that's going to be honest with you, that's you said not going to sugarcoat it, not tell you don't suck when you do suck, or vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, how good you're going to – here's what's going to happen. You're going to build someone up, build their confidence up. Oh, you're crushing it. And maybe they are crushing everybody in your gym, but what if your gym's athletes aren't that good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And sometimes – and this goes back to the realism piece of it, because if you're the king of your gym, that's cool. But have you, and I know that's something you execute, is like, have you tested it against the population? Mm-hmm. Have you tested it against a different sample size? Yeah.
You can be the big fish, but if every other fish around you is really, really small, like you're eating small fish. Like you got to eat big fish. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's, you can be the best in your gym, but that doesn't mean that you're the best as far as the competitive athlete goes. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that? You like you said, you test it, but you have to have a coach or someone that's going to be honest with you. You be like, hey, you're definitely our best athlete in our gym, but you're not the best athlete around this area. How can we get to that? Like,
I remember first getting into this game. I would see like the best athletes in my gym, and we go to a competition, and they're like average.
Yep.
And it's like, wow.
Perspective.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yep. Been that athlete. What the hell? We're doing the same movement, and they went twice as fast.
But again, and bro threw this on me early on when we started doing this show, is like the biggest difference between those high end and the good athletes is they can just go harder, longer. Yep. And it's just it's stupid how hard some of these guys could go.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch. Whatever, but it's also something you should strive for if you really want to be a competitive athlete. Like, it's not just doing a strength, a workout, and then some extra work and working on a skill or doing an EMOM, like everybody thinks all it is training. Like, yeah, this is a huge part. Volume's huge. Building capacity is huge. But if you go into your training session and you're just like going through the work, like, what are you really learning from it? Like, are you learning anything about you?
Are you getting the stimulus?
Well, no.
Are you working as hard as you can?
You can get the stimulus, but what are you learning about yourself? Like, are you taking mental notes of, okay, I did that, I'm broken, and I'm done after round one. That was stupid. So do you make an adjustment, or do you just keep trying to stay unbroken all the way through? Now you're 8 minutes over the time that you're supposed to have to finish this workout because you're being dumb. Like, you gotta do work, okay, but you gotta do the work properly, and that is, you gotta be honest with yourself when you're doing this, and learn what you're capable of, which is huge, and what you aren't capable of, which is huge. It's even more important. And then you take those inabilities, and then you start building those from the ground up. So if you suck at a high calorie bike for a buy-in, every single, say it's 50 plus for a guy, and it's a buy-in, but it takes you double the time than the normal person, but you can really cycle a barbell. It doesn't matter how good you are at the barbell because you can't get there until you get through the bike. Yeah. So what do? You got to set up a game plan to start building that capacity at a lower end to where you can get it to that high end and then it no longer crush you.
So you're talking about how, learning how to, and identifying the appropriate way to attack a workout. Yeah. Also with that goes the appropriate way of attacking those weaknesses. Yeah. Like we said, if you want to build cardio, running's going to help, but running's only going to get you better at running. You have to get on that assault bike and, try and develop the ability to produce more power so that way you can get to that barbell, a lot quicker than everybody else.
I hear this all the time. I suck at pull-ups. Okay. Well, why do you suck at pull-ups? Well, my kip's not very good. Oh, okay. Well, it's not bad. Maybe you're 12 pounds heavy. You ever think about that? I mean, that's just the reality of it. If you're a guy, maybe you're 12 pounds heavy. If you're female, maybe you're 8 pounds heavy. Do you think that if we dialed in your nutrition, not only would your recovery be better, your strength get better, your performance increase dramatically, but you're going to lose weight? And now you tell me that power to weight ratio is huge now. Like, so we pulled you down 8 pounds and you improved your nutrition. So it's not your kip. You can't kip your big ass up there. That's what's up. Like,
it's called gravity.
It is, right? Mo's been fighting it. Like,
I've been fighting it since I was 14 years old.
So, but that's just and I think as a coach, that's one of those conversations. Is I think female CrossFitters do pretty good about, like, they don't give a shit. You talk about their weight. If you say, hey, look, you're heavy, but we got to get you down if you want them gymnastics to go up. Because it don't matter how good you are. You have the best kip in the world, and you're still going to be the last because you're slow and because you're heavy. And that's even our male athletes. You take a 225-pound male,
and you shave 8 pounds off of.
You take them to 212, and they're crushing it. Now they're doing 15, 20 unbroken muscle ups on the rings. They're hitting 40 plus chest to bar in a row. They're doing 40 plus handstand push-ups in a row. And what'd you do? You just shaved a little weight off and took. Put a weight right now. Take your body weight.
Put a weight vest on. And try to do what you Fran.
Do Fran. You tell me how that goes. Like, imagine if you took that away.
Yeah, and it's really funny when you tell people about shaving a couple pounds, and what I'll tell them is like, okay, well, do that same workout, but throw a weight vest on.
Yeah,
and tell me that it's the same amount of intensity.
It's not. Right. It's not.
So along with attacking your weaknesses, using specific training modalities to improve whatever it is you're struggling with.
Yeah, I think that goes into identifying for sure.
Yeah, the curls will get you girls, but they're not going to help your pull-ups.
It'll help this craft beer, which is empty right now, by the way. But yeah, you got to. I think that's where a coach really comes in solid. A really good trainer is attacking the right systems differently. And keeping those off balance. And what I mean by right systems is for that athlete. Like, okay, our general programming will take almost anybody's skill level. If they're on the outside, they come in, say they're a competitive athlete, they come in, they do our general programming. plus our additional work, it'll take their ability much higher than they've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you start getting into specific things that are designed for them, and you can attack what you know their weaknesses are, like, okay, they suck at the bike. Cool. Well, yeah, I can get on the bike and we can do calories, but what if I fatigue them completely first and then
put them on the bike? Yeah.
So, then that's just a whole nother system, as they're used to be able to, I'm not going to lie, Mo, I can ramp that freaking bike up pretty quick, one round. Like, I could do 30 cals in 23 seconds.
Yeah.
But I can't do that back to back, and I can't do that after I've done 15 sandbag dance party. You think after 50 episodes,
I'd have had it figured out by now.
That way, anyways, 'cause the thing.
What?
You're gonna be like angled towards him. You know what I mean?
Sure. Wait, I'm facing what?
You were like starting to turn. You didn't notice.
We need
Monitors.
cue cards.
We need monitors.
We need monitor. That's the
Yeah.
next one. Cue monitors.
Yeah, that'd be next. Yeah, that's next.
Wally.
person. Wally. We need monitors,
Monitors too. Thanks. But yeah, so I can ramp the bike up 30 cals, no problem. But when you take and you put me under a lot of stress first, and then ask me
chuck me on the bike. Yeah.
that my time's going to go from 23 seconds to probably 50 seconds. It is doubling in the fact that now you're at a fatigue state. But realizing that and then putting your athletes through that.
And one of the things that you really talked a lot about when we were going through the show notes is that continual goal setting and having that what's next mentality.
Yep. So
You achieve your goals. Okay, cool.
what's up?
Now what?
We done?
Yeah, we did. We done? Yeah. Just buy my ticket to Madison right now. That's how this works, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of people will set their goals, and then they hit their goals and they're like, "Oh, I'm so awesome." I'm like,
I checked off all my goals.
maybe your goals were weak, bro. Maybe you set some weak ass goals. Maybe they're that easy. Or let's say you hit your goals and you get complacent in the fact that you settle that you accomplish something you put on paper. Well, that's just the first step. Like,
Or maybe even that person that was helping you achieve those goals just gave you a couple tips, and now those goals are way easier. Like you wanted to get, 30 unbroken pull-ups. Okay, well, hey, cut 8 pounds. We'll talk about it. Okay, and they rack through that. Oh, crap, I never knew that losing weight was going to help me with that.
right. I mean, you think of a guy, it's you got your GPP guys, when they back squat 300 pounds for the first time, that's a pretty good goal. 315 especially, because you got the 345s. And then you get to the next step, you went 405, okay? And then what if I just stop there? Like, do I not want 450? And what do I got to do to get there? And so just because you accomplish a goal doesn't mean that your skill level, that's all you got. Let's just keep building, because now you've done all this work to get to a certain point. And then if you settle for that, and then you just kind of go through the motions and don't set new goals that are realistic, like don't back squat 405 and be like, well, I'm going to games.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, you know what I mean?
I've got to the end of the internet. I guess I'm done.
Wow. That's going to be Jenna's next quote that she puts up.
But when you're in that, when you have that momentum going and you've been in that mode of training, it's easier to keep establishing new goals and just keep pushing further than to just stop.
And we've talked in the past, that can also be a detriment to the athlete. You have to take the time and be happy with what you put the work in to accomplish, and take your satisfaction for like one day, and then move
And then when
on.
the alarm clock goes off, it's a new day.
New day.
Yeah.
But also don't sit there and take everything that you've worked really hard towards and not give yourself credit for working really hard towards that.
Celebrate that victory.
When you start thinking that, when you become unsatisfied religiously, then it's going to take the fun out of training, because you're going to feel like you've done nothing and you've actually done a lot. And I'm guilty of that as an owner too, because I reflect like twice a year, and that's it. And that's that's probably 2 more times than I really even want to. But I do it to myself, and it's always
Because you tell your athletes to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do what I say, and sort of like, but
It's hard sometimes.
It is. Yeah. I do it at our 1 year or our when we have our yearly party. I do that. I mean, the night before especially. If I try to do it too much the day of, and when I'm talking to people, like I'll break down and start crying like a little girl. And then, around Thanksgiving, this is another time I try to do that.
Yeah.
Or occasionally on a drive to the gym, it would just be like I'll have the radio off and I'll start thinking about, man, it's just crazy. It's just been going on this long, and then that's it. I'm on to my day.
And lastly, executing all this. I mean, like you said, you got to be realistic. You have all this together, so you got to do something about it.
Yeah.
Being realistic, positive and negative, I guess, for lack of a better term. Be realistic in your successes, and be realistic in the areas that you need to improve on. Be realistic in the fact that sometimes someone's going to tell you suck at something, and using that information appropriately. Sticking to the plan, obviously. Especially
Stick to the game plan.
Especially if you have a coach.
Dude, I say it all the time. It drives me nuts. Like,
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the game plan. Like, it's stupid. You've taken all this time to invest into getting to a certain point or perform in a certain way, and then the day of, you want to just go completely opposite. Like, okay, so day of, your emotions are high, your energy's high. You can uproot a tree with one arm.
Snatch 315
with one arm, and that's why we don't ever allow our athletes to count their PRs.
Competition PRs.
Yeah, because they get to the gym, they're like, holy, I can't do this. I can't even hit my 85%.
Yeah.
But so when you're at a relaxed state and you have time to think about it, the 2, 3, 4 weeks or months leading up to it, you've established this game plan. The day of, stick to it, make small adjustments as needed, which those are typically tied into your game plans. If this happens, we'll go to this. And stick to those, because you're going to feel better if you do not win, okay, and you stuck to your game plan, than if you lose and not stick to your game plan. Because now you're going to be like, I should have stuck to my game plan. Well, now if you stick to your game plan and you lose, at least now you have the proper data to see where you need to improve.
If I would have stuck to my game plan on all those blackjack tables, I'd be like a billionaire by now.
Or you're like, what was the guy off The Hangover?
Oh, Alan?
Alan, yeah.
Being committed. You made these goals.
Right.
Follow through with them.
That's, especially if you're working with a coach, don't waste their time. Like, honestly, don't waste their time by sitting down. If they're taking time, and typically it's free time, you shouldn't be paying all this money for these coaches.
But even if you are paying your
coaches,
I'm
just like, don't waste.
You're still using their time.
Yeah, don't waste their time. But some people are like, they don't care because they're getting paid. Like, I think that's one of the best things about coaching athletes is when there's no monetary thing tied to it. It makes it, that you're both investing a lot of time, so you both truly care about it. You know what I mean? So there's no animosity of like, oh, they're only helping me because I'm paying them, $75 a session. Like, no, it's this dude or this girl is taking their time out of their own personal time and
away from something else they could be doing.
Yep. That maybe they want to do something for themselves.
Maybe they want to own 14-year-olds on Call of Duty.
I do. I play Rainbow Six Siege and PUBG, but yeah.
What's your gamer tag?
Frag RD.
There you go.
Add it up.
Add them up, guys.
Yeah.
And
don't be mad when I smoke you, bro.
The last one I have is be accountable. We've said that a lot this episode. Be accountable to yourself and anyone who is supporting you on this journey, because everybody in this community wants to see everyone else succeed. If you have that 1% of any population, which, Brody will always identify the douchebags.
I was getting ready to say it.
But we don't need those people in our lives, and we don't need those people in our communities either.
But they exist.
They do exist.
The haters exist.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. You see it all the time online, man. Like, it's happened to Jen. I don't know how many times, like, no one will contact her all year long, and then in the open, they'll message her.
Hey, what's your score?
Like, Friday night.
Yeah.
Like, I'm retesting it, so shut the hell up. Like, and if I knew anyways, I ain't telling you. Like, but that's just kind of a sign of a disrespect of, oh, you don't talk to me all year. Now all of a sudden you want to know how
Now
I
you're
did.
interested in how I'm doing.
You don't care about how I did. You just want to see if you can beat me, and that just shows you're a douchebag if you do that.
Any closing shots, bro?
I could offer a lot today, to be honest, Mo. It's just been one of those days, but I think I'm just gonna let this one ride out. I'm
Right out in the sunset.
Right in the sunset. I'm ready for another 8%er, and
As we record our next episode.
no, I think this is pretty cool. I think this is one that people can kind of take from all levels, and I think it's one we can also build on, sort of like the get the hell out of your own way.
Yeah.
We can build on that one on different avenues. I think we'll revisit this one, and we can attack more the GPP side only, and then we can attack straight of the straight competitors, because I think we can go even deeper in that.
Yeah. There's a lot with the competitive piece. There's a lot more finite details, I think, that go into that. When you're a GPP person like myself, it's really easy to find places to get gains. But when you get to that level, we're talking like minuscule things, activating muscles, what split second later or earlier, over the course, over the course of a workout where everybody's, like I said, just as strong, if not stronger than you are. You have to find those efficiencies.
Well, I was telling Mo, like GPP when we first talked about this is, someone just starting out in CrossFit, you should be more concerned about learning the movements and doing the movements correctly, and then
remembering what a snatch is.
Remember what the snatch is. Don't put your clean grip on and try to do a snatch. Like, unless you're hypermobile, it ain't gonna work out. But I think that's real important when you first start out in CrossFit. If you're just starting out, is try to remember the movements. Take all the information that you're getting in, and if you suck at
listen to our show.
Yes, that's
number one. Yeah.
But if I think a big mistake I see some new athletes make coming out of training course, if they suck at something,
they avoid it.
They avoid it and I just was talking about our training course last night. We had snatch and clean last night, and look, if you, I said, who got pissed off today during the snatch,
during the workout,
and during the class, and half their hands rose. I was like, okay, so now it's on you. Like, if you are pissed and you are frustrated because they want to get it now, okay, it just ain't clicking, then you should come to those classes. So don't avoid the classes. Go to those classes every day so you can learn that movement. And the more you do it, the better you get at something, clearly. We talked about 10,000 hours to perfect something.
Yeah.
You don't have to do 10,000 hours to, make yourself happy. But, you know what I mean? You'll be really happy when you put a triple-digit snatch above your head for a female.
Yeah.
Or even a male sometimes.
Yeah. Want to give a shout out to all you listeners. Since we've dominated and taken over the United States and gotten all 50 states to include Puerto Rico, we want to talk about our top 5 states. So, number 1, of course, Ohio.
Really?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Followed by California.
What?
Yeah. And then it's that state to the north.
Michigan, huh?
Yeah.
We talked a lot of smack about Michigan.
Yeah. They stepped their game up. And then after Michigan, it's Illinois, because the S is silent. And number 5, Virginia. So, yeah, Illinois and Virginia, they're pretty close.
What's up, Wally? What's going on with Tennessee, bro?
Tennessee's actually number 6.
Hey, you ain't in top 5. We ain't naming top 6.
But actually, considering like he started sponsoring us only a few months ago, he's almost about to take over Virginia. So Wally, there's an opportunity, man. So you got to get it out there, bro.
Look, man, I think that's what we do. We do the top 5 every week.
Okay.
If you want that, make that list. Step your game up. Right, Wally, you're 6, bro. I mean, that's
If you look at 6 is not 5, Wally.
At the during the Open, you don't want to be the one right below that red line. Like, you don't, because you don't know who's going to go team.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to have that this year. So guess what? You can't be below that red line.
And for this week's call to action, if you could be so kind, share with us one of your goals. We can be that person that's going to be accountable. That you can be accountable.
I'll
to.
hold your ass.
Yeah,
like,
you know Brody will. Even if we don't know who you are, we'll still.
I don't care.
Take the opportunity. Well, one, we appreciate the fact that you're even going to allow us to be part of what your goals are, but we will definitely help you stay abreast and stay
don't share it with me though if you don't want me to talk shit, because I will. Because you don't set a goal. Be like, bro ain't going to say nothing.
Very true. Very true. And lastly, we just want to make a quick announcement. With the holidays coming up, we've been going at this hard for almost a year, getting close.
It's been close.
But we are going to take a break for Christmas and New Year's. So we will not have an episode on the 25th and the 1st because Bro and I are going to probably, I don't know, do some family stuff.
I mean, yeah. I just want to eat. Like, I'm excited.
I mean, with our respective families, and we'll probably catch up and drink beer too. But yeah, Bro's been working hard with the videos. I've been working hard with all the audio stuff, and we just need to take a little holiday break. We hope you understand that and appreciate that because we, without you guys, we don't have a show. But we also have some families, and they'd probably appreciate if we slowed down for a week or two.
I'm good with whatever, bro.
But we will be back on the 8th of January, ready to go with almost year number 2 because I think we started the last week of January. Mo was only going to do this
for a year, so I don't know. We got to renegotiate his contract.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah, Mo said only a year. He said, see where we're at in a year. So where are we at, Mo?
It's not a year yet, man.
No, no. I need
to take a, what do you call it? I need to go take a walkabout for those 2 weeks.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You've already set our schedule for January 1st. So where are we at, man?
January 8th.
What?
That's when we'll be back.
Where are we at, man?
No,
where's our show? What's up with our show, man?
Is it the 28th?
What's wrong? And Jenna's getting uncomfortable. Are we going to be around?
I got to get my contract negotiated, man. Okay, let's take a vote. YouTube, need to step your game up, first of all.
I'm just saying, our YouTube's only been up for 4 weeks, and we're doing all right.
Yeah. Keep watching. Wasn't someone saying that they watch and listen at the same time?
Yeah, keep doing that.
There's a lot of people that say that they do both.
Really?
Like they watch, I mean, not at the same time, but they watch and they listen.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the same time. I was like, that's kind of weird.
I did a poll on Instagram story.
Yeah, I took pictures of who said they don't even listen to our show. So
They just watch it? Or just don't listen, period?
Yeah.
And they just follow us on Instagram?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I got you.
They like looking at you guys.
Whatever.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm going to call them out because I know some of them.
That don't listen?
Yeah.
But they follow us?
Weird.
That's weird.
Calling them out. So what poll we taking, Mo? Mo's trying to cancel the show is what I'm getting at. Mo has no idea. Mo's about to get embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm getting ambushed here.
You okay?
No, I'm sick.
Give him a lozenger.
He's just trying to side.
He is. What do you call? You look like a damn congressman, like getting questioned.
Oh.
Like you're trying to sidestep on me, bro.
What do they call it? Gerrymandering. When they just start rambling about random shit, so they don't have, so they can try and get the vote to take place like in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So, anyways, your goals.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, your goals,
Wait.
as Jenna said, it's got to be a secret, man. They got to wait for the 1 year show.
Dang.
We need to find out a time. Maybe we should do that live. What do you guys think? You want to see a live show for our 1 year anniversary show?
It could be our last one. You might want to tune in.
I'm gonna do like Tim Tebow.
Mo's got these fancy headsets we're going to use for another month.
He's just gonna pack up in the middle of the video.
Right. I'm done.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Time's over.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom and like you hear my car. Like, did Mo just leave all his shit here?
He sure did.
All right, that brings this week's episode to a close. I'm Mo and I'm out.
Hopefully I see you guys again. Don't know. He's cutting me off.
Thank you for listening to the One More Rep podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at One More Rep Podcast, or on Twitter at Can I Get One More, or shoot us an email at canigetonmore@gmail.com.